Welcome, joyful creators and yarn joy adventurers. My name is Cynthia with Cynthia's Joyful Creations, and welcome to Yarn Joy Adventures. We have been creating items for the kitchen, and the last time we were together, we created a towel topper, crocheted right onto the top of the towel. We cut the towel in half so that we were actually able to make 2 towels out of 1. Today, we're going to leave our towel completely intact and use the whole towel. But the towel topper that we're going to create is going to have an invisible loop that will go underneath the towel and be hidden by the towel. And so you can actually pull the towel out of the towel topper and insert an entirely different towel into the towel topper if you choose. So the items that you're going to need today for this project, you need the towel of your choosing. And as you can see, I have chosen a Snoopy towel that says smile, giggle, and laugh. We will be using a 5mm hook, otherwise known as an H hook. We will need a pair of scissors, a darning needle, a sewing needle, and a button to sew onto our towel topper. We will need some thread that matches our yarn as close as it can, and then we will need our yarn. We will be using 100% cotton, so I'm using a 4-ply worsted weight. It is by Peaches and Cream, and as you can see, I got it on sale at Walmart for $1. What a good find! This skein is a 2.5 ounce. It has 122 yards on it, and for this project, we're going to use a little less than 30 yards, so you will definitely have plenty of yarn left over in this skein to make another towel topper if you choose. And the last thing we need, I couldn't start a project without lotion. It is important that we take care of our best tool, and that is our hands. We want to make sure we keep them moisturized and hydrated. Well, if you're ready to get started on this towel topper, we're going to pause the video for just a minute and clear off my craft table and allow you to get all the items that you need over to your craft table or wherever you're going to assemble your project together, and we'll go ahead and get started. So I'll meet you at the craft table. To get started, I've gone ahead and put a slip knot on my hook. Remember that the slip knot does not count as any chain or stitches throughout the project. We are going to make a foundation chain of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We are going to do single crochets, and we're going to start with the second chain from the hook. So we're going to skip this first chain and we're going to work right here in this second chain. And so we're going to insert our hook, yarn over and pull up a loop. That now gives us 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through both loops. And that is a single crochet. And we're going to work a single crochet in each stitch all the way across. So there's our second single crochet, and this is our third single crochet. Going into the next stitch, we're going to work our 4th single crochet. And we're going to go into the next stitch and work our 5th single crochet. And in the next stitch, our 6th single crochet. And then right here in our last stitch, we're going to work our 7th single crochet. And then this completes our first row. We are going to chain 1, turn our work, and now we're going to work single crochets in each stitch across. And we're going to do this for a total of 3 rows. So go ahead and pause the video and complete working rows 2, 3, and 4, working a single crochet in each stitch. And when you get to the end of row 4, chain 1, turn your work, and I will come back and meet up with you, and we will begin row 5 together. We are back at the beginning of row 5, and this row here is where we're going to create our buttonhole. So we're going to work a single crochet into this first stitch and into each of the next 2 stitches. So you should have a total of 3 single crochets. When you finish making your third single crochet, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip this next stitch right here, and into the very next one we're going to work a single crochet, and we're going to work a single crochet into the last 2 stitches. So on this row we'll have 3 single crochets, chain 3, skip a stitch, and work a single crochet into the remaining 3 stitches. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Okay. Now, where's my button? I need to make sure that I'm going to be able to slide my button through that chain, and I can. So if you cannot slide your button through your hole, you will need to just make a couple more chains until your button can slide through. So now we are going to start row 6, and we're going to work a single crochet into that first stitch, a single crochet into the next stitch, and a single crochet into the next stitch, and now we're at our chain 3. So all we're going to do is just come right into this chain 3 space and work 1 single crochet, and then we'll work a single crochet into the remaining 3 stitches so that we are maintaining 7 single crochets. And let's count and make sure. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We're going to chain 1, and now we're going to start row 7. Row 7 through 32, all you're going to do is work single crochets in each of the 7 stitches across the row. And then when you get to the end, you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and work the next row. So go ahead and work rows 7 through 32, working a single crochet in each stitch, chaining 1 at the end, and turning your work. And when you get to the end of row 32, before you chain 1, I will meet back up with you there. So we're here at the end of the 32nd row, and we are going to chain 15. 1, 2, I have not turned my work, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Now I'm going to turn my work, and I am going to slip stitch all the way into the 7th chain, so the last stitch, and I'm just going to join with the slip stitch. Now that we've slip stitched into that 7th single crochet, we're going to turn our work, and this here has created our actual loop that will be invisible. Our towel will go through this, so this will not be seen. We're going to go right into this loop space, and we're going to work 15 single crochets evenly across this loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like I dropped my yarn split, so let me redo that one. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, whoops, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, and this is what it looks like. When you're finished putting your 15 single crochets around your loop or ring, however you want to refer to it, we are going to turn our work, and then we're going to kind of tuck that ring behind the work, because now we're going to come back and work in these 7 stitches of row 32. Before we get started, I just want to show you something. Using my scissors, I'm going to show you the tops of these stitches create like a V. And you can see how it forms a V with each of those stitches. Okay? You've got a loop here and a loop here. This is considered your front loop, and this is considered your back loop. And the reason that is because when your work is facing you like this, you can still see those V's. Your front loop right here is the closest loop to you, and your back loop is the furthest away from you. So we're going to do all these stitches for this next row working in the front loop only. To get started, we're going to come to our first stitch here, and we're going to come right under that front loop, and we're going to slip stitch. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and this chain 3 is going to count as a double crochet. We're going to double crochet into that same stitch that the chain 3 is in under the front loop only, and we're going to create another double crochet because the chain 3 created our first double crochet. To do a double crochet, you yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, which is the front loop only, yarn over and pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2, and now you have 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through the last 2, and you've created your double crochet. And if you look, it looks like you've got 2 double crochets because you've got your chain 3 and then the 1 double crochet that you made. We're going to go into the next stitch up under this front loop only, so we're going to come up between the middle of that V and work another double crochet. And to do that, of course, you had to yarn over before you inserted your hook into the stitch. Then yarn over again and pull up a loop, giving you 3. Yarn over and pull through the first 2. Yarn over and pull through the last 2. So we've got 2 double crochets in this one and 1 double crochet in this one. We're going to work a single double crochet into the next one. So yarn over, go up under that front loop only, yarn over and pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through the first 2, yarn over and pull through the last 2. So now we have 2 double crochets in the first and a single double crochet into the next 2. Going into this next stitch, we're going to work 2 double crochets under that front loop. So here's our first double crochet, and going right back into that same stitch under the front loop only, we'll work our second double crochet. Into the next stitch under the front loop only, we're going to work a single double crochet. And we're going to work a single double crochet under the front loop only of the next stitch. And then in this very last one, under that front loop only, we're going to work 2 double crochets. Okay. So once you've worked your second double crochet into that 7th stitch of row 32, or 7th single crochet, I want you just to fold your work over, and you can see these loops sticking up here. These are the back loops that we didn't work in. So we're going to turn our work, and you want to push your loop now to the back, and we're going to work in these back loops going across. And in the first one, we're going to work 2 double crochets. So we're going to go into this very first one and work 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. In this next back loop, we're going to work 1 double crochet. In this next back loop, we're going to work 1 double crochet. In this next back loop, we're going to work 2 double crochets. So there's 1 and 2. In the next back loop, we're going to work 1 double crochet. In the next back loop, we're going to work 1 double crochet. And in this last one, we're going to work 2 double crochets. And there is our second double crochet. So now we want to slip stitch to the top of this chain 3. Make sure that your loop ring is on the inside, okay? And then go into the top of that chain 3 and slip stitch. So now when you're looking at the top of your work here, you've got your ring or your loop right here, and then here's your work on either side of row 32. So it looks like that. Okay, almost like a little basket, except there's no hollow or opening in the center. Okay, so let me get my hook back on my yarn. All right, so now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And that's going to count as a double crochet. And just like we did before, we're going to work a double crochet, and we're going to go under both loops this time and work a second one right into that same stitch. So now we have 2 double crochets into that stitch. All right, going into the next one, and we're going to always work under both loops now. We're going to work 1 double crochet, and we're going to do that in the next 3 stitches. So there's 1, go to the next stitch, and under both loops work another double crochet, go to the next stitch and under both loops work a double crochet, and into this next one under both loops we're going to work 2 double crochets. And in the next 3 we're going to work 1 double crochet in each stitch. And then here's 2 and 3, and in the next stitch we're going to work 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. All right, in the next 3 stitches we're going to work 1 double crochet, so 1, and in the next stitch 2, and in the next stitch 3, and in the next stitch we're going to work 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. In the next 3 stitches we're going to work a single double crochet, 1, 2 and 3. In the next stitch we're going to work 2 double crochets in the same stitch, 1, 2. And in the next 3 single crochets we're going to work a double crochet, 1 double crochet in each stitch. And here's 2 and 3. And in this last stitch we're going to work 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. After you have worked this last double crochet into this stitch, so you have 2 double crochets, we are now going to join the round with the chain 3 by slip stitching in the top of that chain 3, and that finishes that round. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. That chain 3 counts as a double crochet, and we are going to double crochet right into that same stitch, so we have 2 double crochets in the same stitch. Now the last time we did 2 double crochets and then a single double crochet in 2 stitches before doing a 2 double crochet in the same stitch again. This time we're going to do it over 3 stitches. So in this next stitch we're going to work a double crochet, and we're going to work double crochets in 1 in each of the next 2 stitches. So that would give us 2 and 3. So then in the next stitch we're going to work 2 double crochets in that 1 stitch. So there's 1 and 2. We're going to work a single double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. In the next stitch, we're going to work 2 double crochets in the same stitch. So 1 and 2. We're going to work 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. We're going to work 2 double crochets into the next stitch. 1, 2, and we're going to work 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to work 2 double crochets into the next stitch. So 1, 2, and 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. We're going to work 2 double crochets into the next stitch. 1 and 2. And now we're back at the beginning. Now this is what they call a false stitch right here. And if you notice, it is the base of our chain 3, which was our first double crochet of the round. So we do not work anything into that. And we're simply going to slip stitch into the top of this chain 3. And that completes that round. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. That counts as our double crochet. We want 2 double crochets in that stitch, so we're going to go right back into the same stitch and work another double crochet, so that gives us 2 double crochets in that stitch. So I want you to continue working this round by yourself. You're going to work a double crochet into the next 4 stitches and then 2 double crochets into the next, and continue that pattern all the way around. When you get to the end, slip stitch into the top of the chain 3, double crochet 1 more time into the same stitch so you have 2 double crochets, and then you're going to work a single double crochet into the next 5 stitches, 2 double crochets into the next, and you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around. And then on the final round, you'll do your 2 double crochets and then a single double crochet into the next 6 stitches and repeat that all the way around. And when you get back to the end and you slip stitch to join, I will meet up with you and we will put a border on our topper. When you finish the last round of 2 double crochets in 1 stitch and 6 double crochets in the next 6 stitches, and you've come around and you have joined the round with the slip stitch, we're now going to start the border. And we're going to work 5 double crochets right into this first stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to skip the next 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in the next one we're going to work 5 double crochets. And then we're going to skip the next 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the next stitch work 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. got a knot that was forming in my yarn. So I'm just trying to untangle that a minute. And then we're going to skip the next 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4. And in that 5th one, we're going to work 5 double crochets. And 2, 3, 4, and 5. My yarn is knotting up a little bit here as those guts are coming out of the center of the skein. And then we're going to skip the next 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4. And in this 5th one, we're going to work 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're going to skip the next 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4. And in this next stitch, we're going to work 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to skip 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in this 5th one, we're going to work 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're going to skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in this next one, we're going to work 5 double crochets. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you've got 4 more stitches here, and then you're just going to slip stitch right into the top of this chain 3 and then fasten off and weave in your ends. So go ahead and do that, and then I will meet back up with you. So here is our topper and our little strap, our buttonhole. So our button is going to be sewn on this inside piece so that when the flap comes over, the button can come through the hole. I have gone ahead and cut some thread, and I already have it on my needle. So if you need to do that, go ahead and pause the video and get that. And then when you're ready, we're going to go ahead and sew our button on. So my button needs to be somewhere around that 5th row, if you remember, is when we made our buttonhole. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where I want the center of my button. So I'm going to come up through the hole and pull my thread. And I'm going to go into the next hole, but I'm going to show you something before I completely pull that completely tight. I'm going to come pull my thread back up, and I'm going to insert my needle right under the knot in between the two strands, and then I'm going to pull it tight. So now that secures my thread into that knot. Okay? And then I'm just going to kind of push that knot in the yarn behind the button. And then I'm going to come back over and straighten my button. Okay. And I've done it like that to secure it down. But going forward, I'm going to create the little X's with the thread. I'm just continuing to sew that button on. I like to sew it on really well since this will probably, oh, I thought my thread broke. But anyway, I like to sew it on really well because I know it's going to get lots of washing. I have one of those needles that you don't have to thread it, and it just popped off. The thread did. See if I can just, well, there we go. Actually, first time I've ever used one of those needles that you don't have to thread. You just pop it over the end and it secures itself to the needle. So I'll do this one more time. I'm starting to run out of thread, and then I will fasten off. And that button is nice and secure on there. And then I'm just going to turn it over. And I see that knot sticking through. So I'm going to run my needle through the end of that knot like this. My fingers are just sliding off of the needle, probably because of the lotion on my hands. So I'm going to use my fingernail to kind of push that through. There we go. And this time, I am going to knot it. Okay. It popped off again, but I can just pull that thread through. And that will secure that down. All right, and then I'm going to cut off this remaining thread. And my friends, we now have our completed towel topper. And there's my button going through the hole to secure it to whatever I am going to hang it from. And then I'm going to grab my towel and I am just going to thread or pull the towel through that loop. And find the middle of my towel. And I'm just going to kind of fix my towel. And then when I'm happy, I'm going to pull this towel topper down around the towel. And we are finished. I'm going to pause this a minute and raise my camera up so that you can see it better. Here is our beautiful towel topper. And I'm going to insert a picture so you can see what it looks like hanging off of something. Well, thank you for joining me for Yarn Joy Adventures. I hope you enjoyed making this project. And until next time, be joyful, stay crafty in your own way, make your own joyful creations, and I look forward to seeing you on the next Yarn Joy Adventures.